Hello friends, good morning all. Today we are going to study the important progress that took place in the field of music in the medieval period. Okay, in the last class we discussed what was the contribution of Bhakti and the Sufi movement for the development of different types of languages in our country. You know that. Today we are going to study the progress of music in the medieval period in our country. Okay, during this time, two important types of music developed in our country. Two important types of music. Do you know which are they? Yeah, what's that? Okay, very good. First one, Carnatic music. Carnatic music. Okay, then anybody know any other type of music in our country? Yes, what's that? Hindustani music. Okay, so please note this. Hindustani music. So, in the medieval period, two types of music developed in our country. First one, Carnatic music, and another one is Hindustani music. Okay, then this Carnatic music that developed in the south part of our country, or we can say in South India, Carnatic music developed. Okay, all of you please note that in South India, Carnatic music developed. Likewise, this Hindustani music is developed in North India. Clear? And the important Carnatic musician was Naik Gopal. Please note, Naik Gopal. Clear? So, two types of music developed in the medieval period. Which are they? First one, Carnatic music, and second one is Hindustani music. Clear? Then, the famous Carnatic music developed in the south part of our country, or we can say in South India. And the famous musician was Naik Gopal. Clear? Likewise, Hindustani music developed in North India, and the famous musician, you have already studied about that person. Anybody know that person? Yes, very good. It was Amir Khusro. Amir Khusro. Okay. So, now you study two important types of music developed in our country, and the two famous persons, two famous musicians also. Okay, so first one Naik Gopal and second one is Amir Khusro. Then Amir Khusro learned so many musical ideas from Naik Gopal. Okay, so please note that. And during this period, a lot of musicians, they shifted from Deccan to North India. Okay, so many musicians already lived in Deccan and they shifted to North India, and their mingling, that means the mingling of the Deccan musicians with the North Indian music, it developed the development of Hindustani music. Okay, you note that point. During this time, that means in the medieval period, a lot of musicians, they migrated from Deccan to North India, and they influenced the Hindustani music very well. Or they contributed so many points or so many ideas for the development of Hindustani music. Okay, then during this time, Persian techniques, you know that you studied that Persian was an important language in the court during this time. So, so many musical ideas are related with the Persian also spread in different parts of our country. So, it also helped with the development of Indian music. Okay, then during this time, two important style of music developed in our country. That means the singing way of music emerged in our country. Two important singing ways of music developed in our country. They were Khayal and Tumri. Khayal, first mode of or way of singing is Khayal, and the another style was Tumri. Okay, these are the two types or two ways of singing both the Hindustani and the Carnatic music. Okay, then during this period, different types of musical instruments were also used. Among them, the important one, sitar. Sitar, you know, you have already seen that musical instrument, the sitar. Then another one is sarangi. Please note that, sarangi. Sitar, sarangi. The next one, tabla. These were the important musical instruments used during this period. Clear? Then, you know that we studied or we discussed the religious beliefs of both Sufi people and Bhakti people, or Sufism and Bhaktism. And according to their ideas, singing songs to show or to express their love towards God. That was an important part of their ideology or their ideas or their religious beliefs. So that is known as a bhajana. You studied that bhajana. So that bhajana, when they recite that bhajana, they directly or indirectly developed these two types of music. That means Indian music also developed with the influence of both Sufism and Bhakti movement. Or we can say both Sufi people and Bhakti people or Bhakti movement formers, they helped or they supported the development of Indian music. Okay, then during this period, so many Sanskrit musical books are translated into Persian language. You know that Sanskrit was an important language during that period because Hinduism was an important religion during that time. Okay, so many musical books, they were already written in Sanskrit, were translated into Persian language. Okay, then during the rule or reign of Firoz Shah Tughlaq, an important Sanskrit book was translated into Persian language. The name of that book was Raga Darpan. Raga Darpan. Okay, during the time of Firoz Shah Tughlaq, you know that Firoz Shah Tughlaq, and during his time, a famous book, a Sanskrit book named Raga Darpan, it was translated into Persian language. Okay, so please note that. Then this book was written by, this book was translated during which period? The period of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Then you know that the important famous Mughal ruler Akbar. You know that Akbar was a famous musician because he supported a lot of musicians and he gave the permission to stay or to accommodate in his court the famous musicians. So you know that we got the information about the rule or the reign of Akbar from the words of Abul Fasal. You know that because we have discussed in our previous classes about Abul Fasal and the relation between Abul Fasal and Akbar. You know that. And according to Abul Fasal or from the words of Abul Fasal, we can easily understand that in the court of Akbar, there were 36 famous musicians were there, or 36 famous musicians lived in the court of Akbar because Akbar liked so much this music. Okay, so he supported or he contributed his maximum for the development of Indian music during his period. So he supported or he accommodated 36 famous musicians under his control in his court. Among them, Tansen was the famous person. Please note Tansen. Okay, among them, Tansen was the famous musician. And you know that Tansen worked very well for the development of Indian music, and he prepared a particular type of raga. It is known as Darbar Raga. Darbar Raga. Okay, so Tansen was the important musician of Akbar's court, and he developed a particular type of music, and it is known as Darbar Raga, and this Darbar Raga supported or promoted for the development of Hindustani music. Okay, so please note all these points. Then you know that in the 13th century, there was a famous person. His name was Sharngaravan. Please note Sharngaravan. Okay, he lived in the 13th century, and he developed a particular type of musical book that is known as Sangeeta Ratnagaram. Please note Sangeeta Ratnagaram. Sangeeta Ratnagaram. This book also promoted or supported for the development of Indian music. Okay, so you please note the point. During the 13th century, there was a famous musician lived. His name was Sharngaravan, and His famous work was Sangeeta Ratnagaram. So this book also gave support for the development of Indian music. Okay, then one more point you have to keep in your mind is that you have studied from your lower classes about a Vijayanagara dynasty. Okay, so during the Vijayanagara period, Vijayanagara rulers. So during that dynasty, both a Persian language and Arabic language or Persian music and Arabic music supported or they give more influence for the development of Carnatic music, especially in South India. Because you know that in South India, that means both the Persian people and Arabic people, they came to the South Indian regions for training purposes. So, different types of musicians also visited our country during that period. So, they shared their ideas with the musicians of South India. Okay, so both Persian language and Arabic language, or we can say both Persian music and Arabic music, they supported for the development of Carnatic music in South India. Okay, so these are the important points you have to keep in mind related with the development or progress of music in the medieval period. Okay, now we can study in the next class about other point. Okay, so this topic is, or this part is over. Now it is the time to wind up here. So study very well. Thank you.